now. All right,
Okay,
Miss
guys,
Cole,
so we're
you're
going to
up.
talk about, am I up? Okay.
You're up.
So we're going to talk about summer nutrition and tips 101 because in the summertime, our schedule changes. It's usually not going to be the same compared to what we're doing when we're in school. You know, when we're in school, the schedule, you wake up, you go to school, you're at school for several hours, you maybe come home, you go straight to practice, you come home, you have dinner. Summertime is a little bit different. You may have more downtime at home than you typically do during the school time. You may have a part time job. You may travel a bit more. There's a lot of things that change during these summer months. And with that comes new nutrition habits and new ways to handle that schedule. So, the things we're going to talk about are your hydration, snacking, and sleeping. So, because we are in summertime and the humidity's here, the heat has increased, hydration is a huge, huge topic and something that we really need to focus on. Snacking, we're home more. You may find yourself opening and closing that pantry or going into the refrigerator more than you are when you're in school because you're not home. So we want to make sure we're navigating snacking and identifying, are we hungry? Are we not hungry? Where are we in our snacking habits during the summer months? And then sleeping. Sleeping plays a huge role into your wellness, your nutrition, and your training. So, hydration, I know I've said it before, we'll say it again. You should be taking in 1/2 to 1 ounce of water per body weight. And that is the rule of thumb for just a healthy, normal person. And I'm not putting y'all in the normal category because of the amount of training y'all are putting out. Y'all are doing a lot more physical activity than your peers or people who aren't exercising or who aren't teen athletes. So that doesn't account for your sweat loss. And even though you're in the pool and you may not feel the sweat loss coming off your body like you would if you were running outside in this heat, you are still sweating in the pool. And we want to make sure we're replenishing those electrolytes and that fluid. So, electrolyte replenishment. Sports drinks like Gatorades and Powerades are going to be really helpful in replacing some calories and replacing electrolytes, some minerals, some vitamins, those micronutrients that we need to also take into account. With sports drinks, the regular Gatorade, the regular Powerades, the full sugar ones, the full calorie ones, those ones are fine when you're in practice, when you're at meets, when you're in training, because your body will need those additional calories at that time. I don't think you need those additional calories or sugars just to drink throughout the day. So if you do maybe buy those sports drinks, buy both. Buy the full sugar, buy the zeros, because I know they both come in zeros. Vitamin water comes in zeros where there's no added sugar. Those are going to be better to be hydrating with, snacking on, having through the day when you're not at practice. The other product that I do really like is a brand called Liquid IV. They come in little powder pouches. I believe you can get them at Rouse's, Whole Foods. I've bought them on Amazon, but these are great hydration, electrolyte replenishment supplements that you can mix into your water. Again, it would be great to have with you at meets. Um, if you're doing anything outside, I don't know if any of your dryland practices are out in the heat, but those types of things are going to be really helpful. Cannot play catch up with your hydration. You should be hydrating today for tomorrow. You should be hydrating for your meet next weekend, this weekend. So it's something you can't do the day of or the day before when you know you're going to be working at a certain level. You really want to stay on top of it. So we're going to go over some tips on how to stay on top of our hydration. Not everybody feels thirst the same way. For example, I am not a typically thirsty person. I have to remind myself to drink water. I don't feel that thirst often, and there's some people that do, or they're just naturally thirstier. But there is something where you can turn that trigger on by having a glass of water the first thing in the morning. You'll find yourself, if you have that water first thing, you'll find that your body will start triggering thirst more frequently because you've given it that water. You don't realize you're dehydrated. Your body isn't signaling that you're dehydrated. But if you drink it first thing in the morning, it's like, oh, that felt nice. Let's keep doing that. Another thing is buying a bottle of water with the time tracker. I have this big bottle of water. I've bought it on Amazon. It's 100 ounces. It marks and checks through the day time frames on when you should be drinking. So when I fill it, the first ticker is 7 a.m. Second ticker is 10 a.m. So it's kind of just a checklist for me to make sure I'm getting in the water that I need because, like I said, I'm not great at taking in my water. I have to be reminded. Um, it's huge and it's kind of big and bulky, but it's really, really helpful. It's going to help keep you on track to make sure you've gotten enough through the day. Another thing, it may sound silly, but set an alarm as you're starting to build these habits. We want to make sure you're getting it in. So if it's setting an alarm on your phone every couple of hours, every 30 minutes, go every 30 minutes. If you have a little beep on your phone, go to the fridge, take a glass of water just to make sure you're staying on top of it. Because little things like that's going to really make a big difference to make sure that you're staying hydrated during these summer months, especially. Okay, summer snacking one-on-one, 101. Um, again, I said it in the very beginning, our schedules are different right now. So when you're at school, you have certain snack times, you have certain lunch and break periods. If we're home all day, it's kind of a free for all, but you don't want to just be sitting there mindlessly eating and putting something in your body that's going to affect your swim that you're going to have maybe at the end of the day, or vice versa. If you had swim practice early and you come home and we've turned a show on and you're mindlessly eating through the day, it's probably may not be the best thing that you're putting in your body after all of that work. So let's go through some of those ticks. Are you hungry? What time of the day is it? This is even something you should be checking in if you know that you're not a big snacker and you should be taking in more calories. We've gone through before how many calories female versus male athletes versus non-teen athletes should be taking in a day. And I know girls are somewhere between 22 to 2,700 calories a day. The guys, y'all are somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. That's a lot of food. So if you know that you're not getting in that much, even if you're not hungry, you may need to get a little pulse check and put a timer on your phone and make sure you are taking in a good snack. Are you bored? Are you just going to the pantry or the refrigerator because you're bored? Or are you actually hungry? So start paying attention to how your body feels, is going to be really important. Are you hungry? Are you bored? Do you just want to eat the cookies right now because you've got nothing else going on? Making sure you're being aware of the hunger, where you are in the day is going to be really important. What time of the day is it? When was the last time you ate? Going back to, are you not a big snacker? We want to go every 3 to 4 hours with fuel. That's outside of practice and outside of a meet. Just normally, I'm eating myself every 3 hours. I'm taking in something. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on that, setting a timer on your phone. Or, and the opposite, are you snacking too frequently? That may be something you need to address. How big was your meal? Did you get enough at lunchtime? Was breakfast big enough? If your meals aren't rounded, well rounded meals, you're going to start feeling yourself be a little bit hungrier sooner than later. So rather than snacking through the day, make sure your bigger meals, like your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinners, are well rounded, satisfying, checking those boxes so you don't feel like you've got to continuously go find something to pick on. Looking back at the this versus that list, we've made a couple lists now in these slides that I've done where I compare some snacks. I compare some menu ordering. I've compared some Chick-fil-A orders, some protein bars versus candy bars, whole grain crackers versus the bag of chips. So when you go into the pantry, making smart choices, should I grab this or should I grab that? Again, based on where you are in your day. Did you just get home from practice? Are you on your way to practice? Are you between swims at a meet? What should you be taking in at that time? Read your labels. Um, I've shown y'all how to read a label now, and I had a little diagram, but we can go into that more as far as how to read a label, how to identify whole foods versus really highly processed foods. So that's going to be really important too. If you're eating a quote unquote protein bar and it's 300 calories and it's a meal replacement, but if that meal replacement bar, if you're hungry within the next 30 minutes, probably didn't have the greatest ingredients and it's not going to keep you feeling satisfied. So rather than eating that bar, you could have had another sandwich or a plate of leftovers or something that's a little bit heartier and a better snack for you. So just like being able to identify what's going to be best for you is going to be really important while you have some extra time on your hands this summer. Okay, third thing is sleeping patterns. Are you sleeping and are you getting that good sleep? Are you getting bad sleep? Are you feeling rested? How important is your sleep to your wellness, to your training? It plays hand in hand with your nutrition. So for you as a teen athlete, 8 to 10 hours is the goal. Um, that could be mean 10 to 8 to 10 hours with overnight sleep and maybe an afternoon nap. Um, now that we're home, we may have some extra time to nap during the day. So if you get home from practice, you may need to catch some snooze. That's fine. Just make sure you're getting cumulatively 8 to 10 hours. This time frame allows the body to repair and recover mentally and physically. Your body needs the sleep to repair. So just like we've talked about what you're taking in as a snack or a meal post swim, post practice to repair your muscles, that protein you need to take in, sleep is really, really, really important to that repair and recovery. Some effects of too little sleep or bad sleep, if you're not getting great, well rounded, relaxed, deep sleep, you're making more mistakes and you're less consistent. Our body is tired. If you're not getting great sleep, you're tired, you're fatigued, you're firing a little bit slower than you would. So the effort that you feel like you're putting out, the effort feels different when you are full of energy versus when you're really tired and you got some bad sleep. The feeling of effort that you're putting out, the result isn't the same. You're going to be working just as hard for a lesser result, a lesser swim if you're tired. So it may feel the same, the push may feel the same, the effort may feel the same, but the result of it is going to be far less if you're not fully recovered and rested. Same thing, there's more injuries and longer recovery. You are less cognizant. Your brain is tired. It didn't get its full repair, it didn't get its full sleep. So you may make more mistakes. Your swim patterns, your stroke patterns, all of those things may not be up to par, up to standard of what you can do if you are well rested, and you're going to be more likely to injure yourself. Then, if your body is injured, it's going to take longer to recover because your body's fatigued. You can recover from an injury. You can recover from practice, from efforts, from workouts if you give it the time that it needs to fully repair. Compromised immune system. We've talked about if you're putting in crappy foods to your body, you're more likely to come down with a cold, get sick, get run down. If you're not getting those good minerals, good vitamins with a healthy diet, same thing with sleep. If you're run down, if you're not getting great sleep, you may feel those mornings where you wake up and you're a little raspy or froggy in your throat because you didn't get great sleep. Your immune system's compromised. It needs that. So we want to prevent injury. We want to prevent getting sick. And all of that is related to how much you're sleeping and what you're eating. So we want to sleep like the pros. You want to perform like the pros. You want to compete like the pros. You got to sleep like the pros. So there have been a lot of things that have come out recently with pro athletes or with college athletes where these programs are really focusing on the sleep of their athletes. LSU redid their fitness athletic facility, I think in 2019, where they added in nap pods, little sleep pods for their athletes only. So they can step away from school, they can step away from practice, they can unwind, they can get out of their apartment, out of their dorm, and go to a space where they can get some good uninterrupted sleep. So just like that, those sleep pods, checking your environment. Is your bedroom conducive to good sleep? Do you find that you're falling asleep with the TV on? When you go to sleep, is your bedroom a mess? Does it stress you out? Are your books on your bed? You know, what's going on in your bedroom? You want to check your environment and make it conducive to some relaxing sleep. Treat it like a spa. You want to unwind, you want to relax. So if that means maybe tidying up a little bit before you go to bed, something that I really like, if I know that I'm going to get good sleep, I make my bed every morning, and getting into bed after a made bed just feels a little bit more cozy, a little bit more relaxing. That's what I do. I like to get into a made bed before I go to sleep. So whatever that is for you, whatever you find relaxing to get to sleep, do those little extra steps. Number two, give yourself time to wind down. So whether that's getting in bed a few minutes early, whether it's falling asleep before you've read a book, dimming the lights, unplugging your phone, doing maybe putting some music on, if you have a or sound machine, giving your body some time to wind down so it can naturally fall into a sleep cycle versus, you know, coming in, watching a show, eating right away, texting somebody, FaceTiming somebody, and then trying to fall asleep. Your adrenaline's going off. You need to give yourself time to chill out. Put down your phone, unplug it. So the blue light rays that our screens, like our laptops, our tablets, our phones put out is very stressful on our eyes. They've even come out with blue light glasses to reflect some of those lights that come off, to take some strain off our eyes. So I know we're all glued to our phones. I'm glued to mine. I'm on my laptop till way later than I should be. But taking the time to close it, turn the phone off, maybe turning on a movie, reading a book, giving yourself some time to unwind, and your eyes naturally get tired, get sleepier without that bright light is going to chill the body out, slow your brain down, and giving you time to actually get some really good sleep. The last presentation we did, I got a question about caffeine and if and when and how much y'all should be taking in. And my suggestion was to not. I don't think y'all need it. So avoiding caffeine, not only is it not great for you at your age right now, it stunts your growth, it limits progress. It's going to really affect those sleep patterns. You have all these energy drinks now that are out there that are branded with creatine and extra protein and all this in it. You don't need it. If you change some habits in your diet, you can get some really great natural energy where we don't need this added caffeine. And if you are taking in added caffeine, you're jittery and you don't even realize it. And it's going to be really, really hard to fall asleep. So you want to make sure you kind of cutting that out and letting your body naturally go to sleep when it's naturally tired, and getting some good sleep so that you can be recovered, repaired, refreshed, and performing at the highest level that your body can. Questions?
That was awesome.
Okay.